This is Cruise Control.
Your on-air automotive magazine with co-hosts Fred Staab and Les Jackson. Everything you need to know about new and used cars. Industry news. We'll fix or repair your car on the air. Fasten your seatbelts and let us take the wheel. Now, your ride is about to begin. Because you're on Cruise Control. Cruise Control. Cruise Control.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. It's us again. I'm Les Jackson. That's Fred Staab. We, of course, are here for you every single week talking about the auto industry, and this is no exception. In fact, we're not coming to you from Las Vegas, but we're talking a lot about Las Vegas, the Consumer Electronics Show, right, Fred?
Yeah, we sure are, and it's more cars than electronics these days, although cars are electronics. This week, we're going to see about autonomous vehicles. It looks like they're taking a big step forward this week at the CES show in Las Vegas, and maybe they'll be available sooner than we think. We'll discuss the Volvo EX90 and the COLAB, that's an internet word, between Sony and Honda called Afeela. Afeela. How do you Afeela?
I Afeela pretty good. We'll talk about how they got that name. Well, COLAB, I think, is a better word.
Well, that's just a collaboration.
That's right, but still. And we're talking tech also. This time it's tasty tires. I've had a lot of desserts this Christmas, but tasty tires, no. Anyway, Goodyear has plans for rubber made from beans and rice. This is true.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, well, Survivor, the Chevy Malibu, it's not only surviving in the Chevy lineup, there might be a completely new version with a gas-powered engine. Can you believe it, Les? It's a sedan.
I see Malibus periodically, and I'm always glad to see them because, it just feels comfortable.
Also, they're rented a lot.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And still the one. Ford maintains a 46-year record, and we all know what that is.
Yeah, it has to do with that little truck, that F-150 thing.
A fairly successful truck.
Yeah, that's pretty successful, and we'll talk a little bit about that. And also, I'm going to have an at the wheel of a vehicle I really enjoyed, the 2023 Kia Niro Hybrid. And what's kind of neat about this review is I just reviewed the Niro Hybrid, the 2022 model, so we can contrast and compare. And I have to tell you, this thing got 53 miles to the gallon, and I was blown away. So
I tell you.
We'll talk about that, have that at the wheel review. Don't forget to check us out at cruisecontrolradio.com. And I am Fred Staab. He is Les Jackson. Cruise Control is the name of the show. We will be right back after the break, and we'll get started with the story from CES. Stay tuned. Cruise Control is your on-air automotive magazine. Stay tuned. Plenty more Cruise Control is coming right up.
Cruise Control.
Welcome back to Cruise Control. I'm Fred Staab, and along with me, as always, is Les Jackson. We are here telling you about what's going on in the automotive world, taking you on a ride around the automotive industry. This week, that ride is in Las Vegas. Les, we're talking about CES, formerly the show called Consumer Electronics Show. Although cars are electronic and they are bought by consumers, so I guess.
So now it's the Car Electronics Show.
Shouldn't it be the ECS show, Electronic Car Show?
Could be.
Could be. Maybe that's something to think about for next year. But let's talk about something that has gotten revealed at the show, and that is the Volvo EX90. And what's unique about this is it is a self-driving car, but unlike self-driving cars of the past, all the sensors, and it has 5 radars, 8 cameras, and 16 ultrasonic sensors. It has long-range LiDAR. All of that is kind of built into the car. So remember when these cars came out with LiDAR, they looked like they had a small radio broadcast tower on top of them.
That's right.
With a spinning radar dish.
An AWACS spinning disc.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. It looked like an AWACS plane. Well, no longer. To me, that means that when they're making these things look a little bit more stock, it basically, the LiDAR looks like a little hood scoop on the roof, and they're getting it down to the point where these things could be built and not look ridiculous, right?
Well, that's right. And what most people don't know is that Volvo's been doing this for a long time. 9 years ago, I got to ride in one of these, not this one, but the version 9 years ago. They had 100 of them being tested in countries around Europe and here. With their engineers operating them. And aside from all the gadgets bolted onto them, they actually worked very well. And they've been involved in this mobility thing for a long, long time. So I think they're one of the absolute leaders in this. I'm confident that whatever they make, it's going to work great. And here we go. We're getting closer. This, I would call this an early level 4.
Yeah. It is the EX90. Certainly looks like a Volvo for sure. It's a true 7-seater, all electric. And it is, as I said, it's got LiDAR, 5 radars, 8 cameras, 16 ultrasonic sensors. So at 14.5-inch center display on the inside, and it's built with Google Apps, Google Maps navigation, and it will be available for pre-order in the United States and be coming out sometime in 2024. $80,000.
Well, there's a lot in it.
There's a lot in it. There's a lot of technology, and you know, seeing those sensors look like something you would see on a car and not like a broadcast tower with guy wires on the roof.
Remember the Google cars?
Mr. Beep. You called it Mr. Beep.
Yep.
Yeah, so.
Where are they?
I don't see them around, but this Volvo is pretty interesting. Now, we're also going to tell you a little bit about this collaboration between Sony and Honda, and it's called Afeela, which I think is kind of a strange name, but it's kind of a more traditional-looking car, electric vehicle, of course. We don't know a heck of a lot about this, but it's interesting to see Sony and Honda team up, and I think that's a smart way to go. Honda knows how to build cars. Sony knows how to build electronics, right?
Well, yeah, this is called smart collaboration.
Yeah, smart collaboration. We don't know a lot about it. It looks buildable. It has computing power to the tune of 800 TOPS, or trillion operations per second. So it's got a lot of smarts to it. So
that's a lot.
The bad thing, though, it does have one of those yoke steering wheels. So
yeah, I really hope this is a short-lived fad.
Yes.
Because I don't like the looks of it. It's awkward to steer.
Well, we'll have more about this concept from both Sony and Honda when we come back on Cruise Control. I'm Fred Staab. He is Les Jackson. We've got plenty more to go with stories from CES and more, and an at-the-wheel review. So stay tuned to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Plenty more to go A lot of tech coming up, including tires made from beans and rice. I wonder if they got some hot sauce with that.
Red beans and Firestone for dinner.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control. Before the break, Fred and I were talking about the Afeela, the combined Sony Honda future car. And it's we don't know what Afeela actually stands for, but it's going to be called that. That's going to be the brand name.
It's a weird brand name. I don't.
I don't know. I'm sure they've focus grouped it. And by the way, they never invite us to focus group.
No, we'd say that's a weird name.
Yeah, but in any case, mechanically, it's going to be pretty quick.
Yeah, sure is.
Two 268 horsepower electric motors. That's a serious, and it's not a big EV.
No.
This thing packs a lot of speed.
Packs a lot of punch, it sure does, and it will have a Snapdragon digital chassis from Qualcomm for the computing. As we told you, a very intense computer system, 800 teratrillion operations per second. That's pretty amazing.
Is that more than 40?
It's more than 40. Yeah.
Okay.
It's futuristic looking on the outside, but it also looks buildable. It will be 192.7 inches long, 74.8 inches wide, 57.5 inches high on a 118.1 inch wheelbase. Dare I say it, Les? It's a sedan, isn't it?
It's a sedan, and I think this is what they certainly will build. We do have a little bit. The Afeela name is derived from an interactive relationship where people feel mobility as an intelligent entity.
Okay.
Those are words.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. I hope I've explained that properly.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't know. I'm interested.
But I want to drive this thing because I think it's going to be surprisingly spectacular.
Yeah, you think about this. We talk about this all the time now, but 500 horsepower is thrown around like it's nothing, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that used to be 500 horsepower. Man, let's face it. Corvettes used to think it was great. It had 200 and something horsepower. That's just one electric motor.
That's right. Yeah. This is impressive stuff.
It really is, and I think supercars will be in the 2,000 horsepower range eventually. What do you think?
Yep.
Just incredible. Well, we'll see if these team ups. I mean, the big thing in the room, the elephant in the room, is Apple never really brought out their car. But who would they team up with?
Well, maybe they just are going to skip that.
I don't know. It will be interesting to see what happens, though, if we do see more of these collaborations. It makes sense. Hey, they know how to build cars, Honda, and Sony knows how to build electronics. So, to me, that makes a lot of sense. But you know what? Just stay away from the yoke steering wheel. It just looks. I don't know.
I just don't see
Don't
any
get it.
advantage to that.
Well, let's talk tech. Do you see advantage to making tires from beans and rice? Have you ever thought about that?
I haven't. I know you can get protein, fibers, and all these things. Henry Ford built car panels out of soybeans.
Yeah. Well, Goodyear has designed and manufactured, has managed to design and manufacture a tire that is made up of 90% sustainable materials, and it's already undergoing Department of Transportation approval, Les Jackson.
And they demonstrated it at the CES in Las Vegas in 2022.
Yeah, and so what it does is it uses carbon black, which is a compound used to increase tire life. That's typically made from fossil fuels, but this tire has 4 types of carbon black produced from methane, carbon dioxide, plant-based oil, and end-of-life pyrolysis oil feedstuff.
Yes.
What is that? That doesn't...
I don't know, but I'll look it up.
And soybean oil keeps the rubber pliable in changing temperatures, and Goodyear mentions that nearly 100% of current soybean protein is used in food animal feed, but there's a significant surplus of the oil. So you don't want to get into something like ethanol where they were like, well, we made fuel, so we don't have anything to eat now.
That's
so
right.
They're kind of heading that off at the pass. And typically, silica provides grip for a tire, and that was replaced with high-quality silica made from rice husk waste residue.
Okay.
Often
That
just thrown
makes
into
sense.
landfills, and that's a byproduct of making rice. I mean, that is a real boon for any company that has to just get rid of that stuff right now. If they can sell it and say, hey, Goodyear will buy it, put it in a tank, and, pump it into the truck when it comes here, right?
Absolutely. Again, all of industry is getting more and more and more creative because materials are getting harder to get.
Yeah, they are. And if you can use something that you already have or is just hanging around, then that's a pretty good thing, so.
And that you don't have a toxic waste product.
Well, let's talk about something else that's hanging around, and that is the Chevy Malibu, mid-size sedan, still in the Chevy lineup. It was refreshed in 2019, and there was some talk that 2024 would be the last for that vehicle. But now GM Authority is reporting that there might be a new version with the internal code 9D SCL, and 9D referring to the platform it's built on, and S indicating it will be a sedan, and it will be the same platform that underpins the Chevy Trailblazer and Trax crossovers with a transversely mounted gas-powered engine. So seems like they're betting some people will want sedans in the future, and they don't want to get out of the sedan business like many others have, right?
Absolutely. I think they're right.
Yeah, I think they're right to play in that field. It's also, of course, a big rental car field. That's not a big, money maker for them. But I tell you, it's smart, and we'll see if the Malibu survives. There's some talk it might only survive in China, but now it's looking more and more like it will be surviving, in the U.S. market too. So we'll have to see if the Malibu makes it and continues on. But that's a big story for Chevy, isn't it?
It really is, and it's a good car.
Yeah. When we come back, we're going to tell you about another big story, and that is Ford. Ford, of course, has had the best-selling vehicle for now, 46 years, and guess what?
46 years.
They still are selling the number one selling vehicle, the Ford F-150. We'll tell you a little bit about that. And that, I don't think anything you can think of sells as well as an F-150 or has a record of selling that long. Do you?
Not offhand. I mean, maybe Coca-Cola.
Something like that, but not really anything in the automotive industry can hold up to that record.
No.
Hey, we will be right back. I'm Fred Staab. He is Les Jackson. Stay tuned to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. I'm Fred Staab. He is Les Jackson. We are with you, taking on a ride around the automotive industry, talking about new technology. We're going to have an at-the-wheel review of the Niro, the Kia Niro Hybrid, the brand new one, 2023 coming up. But first, we got to talk a little bit about Ford. And Ford has maintained a huge record, the best-selling truck for 46 consecutive years. They were awarded with that one more time. Overall best-selling vehicle for 41 years. Can you imagine that?
It's just remarkable. Clearly, I mean, we know that pickup trucks have always been the biggest selling vehicle because, you know, every year they make more of them than they do passenger vehicles.
And more and more people are driving them. They're not just people doing
yes.
work or anything.
But you got to be doing something right to be the top selling one for 46 years.
You know, it's interesting. They've been making it now for 75 years, the F-Series. So for that first 30 or so years, it was not
F1.
the number one. What was number one?
Probably Chevy.
Probably Chevy. And they never recovered from it. They never got it back.
No. It was 1976 that Ford took over. So in 76, cars were getting pretty boring.
They call that was the beginning of the malaise era.
The malaise.
Yeah,
and
which really got bad in the 80s, right?
Yeah. And I didn't follow trucks back then, but I would assume that the 76 F-150 must have done something that appealed to just more buyers.
It was the two-tone paint, I bet.
White walls. White walls.
White walls and skinny tires, because that's what pickup trucks were: a vinyl bench seat, some rubber mats, a stick shift on the floor, and skinny tires and a 8-foot bed. Right? Probably the only bed you could get.
That's right. Didn't have crew cabs. Probably $6,000.
Yeah, and maybe a 250 straight six in there.
Yeah.
That's what most people bought, and then they kept it. The problem is with trucks, they last so long.
Absolutely.
I saw a great video of a guy on YouTube. He bought a $800 F-150. He said, "I just need to get it running, and that's it, and pass inspection, and it's safe." And he was going to detail what he was going to do, and I thought, that's great. That's a useful thing. It can carry a lot of stuff. And, he's replacing shocks and things like that, but it still had a lot of life in it, Wasn't anything fancy. It was a V6.
No, that's right.
And a manual. And so there you have it. Hats off to Ford. They also, though, have probably something that they are not so excited about. But in 2022, Ford issued 65 recalls for over 8.6 million vehicles, and that is a record, Les Jackson. According to NHTSA, National Highway
Not a record
Transportation
you want.
Safety Administration. No. But in one way, I guess it is that if you had a problem, some of them, like the airbags and that's not their fault. But there were some stop sales, Mach-E, problems with the Mach-E, the Bronco Sport. But they got them taken care of. So it's not the thing they want to highlight about 2022, but it's better than saying it's not a problem, and it is a problem. At least they're admitting it's a problem, and they'll get it fixed, right?
Well, that's right. In the old days, the car companies just kind of turned their heads and did nothing.
What you want me? It's not my problem. I didn't buy the car.
That's right. You bought it.
Yeah. So, well, this is an interesting announcement from Mercedes, and it's kind of interesting that all manufacturers seem to be building their own charging networks, which I don't know if it's the best idea, because I think
not sure it's a great idea.
Yeah, you don't. It's like, oh, your car doesn't take that gas. I'm sorry, and we're the only gas station around. But Mercedes is going to launch a globally branded high-power charging network starting in North America. 10,000 high-power chargers. That's going to be worldwide across North America, Europe, China, and other markets. Mercedes customers can pre-book a charging station for their car, but the network will be open and accessible to all brands. That's interesting. So they're kind of getting into the charging business. I guess they offer a discount to the owners of Mercedes, and then the others pay the full freight, right? I guess. I don't know if that's what their plan is.
I guess. What's interesting is that I've been driving a lot of electric vehicles recently, and really researching the charging stations. And they're all different companies: EV America, EV Go,
right,
Charge Point, but what there are none of are charging stations from the oil companies.
Yeah, that's true.
And why haven't the oil companies? It's almost like the railroads back at the turn of the century, when the railroads didn't realize that transportation was the name of the game, and the railroads were sort of thinking like railroads,
and not getting into trucks,
and not getting into all the things that other transportation forms were getting in. And it's like the oil companies seem to be blind to the fact that ultimately it's going to be electricity. And if you were an oil company, wouldn't you be leading the way?
Well, too, they have, a lot of gas stations have room for chargers. They could certainly start with putting 5 chargers in, couldn't they?
Absolutely.
Think of how many snack foods you could buy while charging your vehicle. And lotto tickets. What do you think?
That's exactly right.
You could load up, man. You could get.
I haven't seen any at gas stations.
You could get like the 40-pound Twizzler bag, and some beef jerky.
Think of the potato chips I could eat.
You could really probably clean them out while you waited. I don't know why. I think the future of a fueling station should be hydrogen, gasoline, diesel, and electric. Whatever you got,
Should all be there. Yeah.
And plus those snack foods. You can't forget the snack foods are not going to go out. There's always going to be that. Coffee, you could stand there and have like 10 gallons of coffee, So, yeah, I don't know. That is a great question to ask. And you would think they could do it. They already probably have good power. I don't know if they could get these very high power chargers. I don't know. I don't know why they don't do it, but we should mention this Mercedes Chargers they're going to use heavily clean energy, buy clean energy to power these things. The thing is, that's just the charging station. You can't really do anything else. You can't sell, you can't do your laundry.
You're all alone.
You're just sitting there. I got stuck at one that the only thing that was around was a really bad pizza place. It tasted like I had cardboard for pizza.
Well, the one that I tend to go to the most is about 3 miles away, but it's at a Target store with a big, big lot. And there's a Starbucks across the lot. So at least you can plug it in and leave and go shop.
Have coffee.
Buy whatever you do at Target and have some coffee and kill some time.
Hey, I've got 2 hours to kill. Let's go to Target. I don't know. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk about a vehicle you can buy right now that I was pretty impressed with. It is the brand new 2023 Kia Niro Hybrid, completely redone. Looks a little bit like a Volvo, I would say, maybe. And it got 53 miles to the gallon on the highway, which is crazy without even trying. So we will have that at the wheel when we get back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. I'm Fred Staab. He is Les Jackson. And we will be right back with more of this automotive information. So stay tuned, and that At the Wheel review is coming up.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. It's Fred Staab and Les Jackson, and we are glad you're along for the ride. It is time for another At the Wheel review. This time, it is the all-new Kia Niro Hybrid. This is a vehicle that comes in hybrid, plug-in hybrid, and all-electric, but we're reviewing the hybrid version. And I have to say off the bat, I was pretty impressed because this vehicle, I took it on the highway, it got 53 miles to the gallon.
That's substantial.
That is substantial. And I have to say also, it has kind of a look of a Volvo, I think, in many ways. It's got this aero panel in the back, which is sort of a black panel that actually the air goes behind. It is aerodynamic. On the inside, if you look at this vehicle, it's very much like the EV6 from Kia. This one featured the vegan leather interior, which is really vinyl, but that's okay. It was really nice vinyl. One of the frustrating features of this vehicle was there's shared controls for both the radio and the HVAC, and you can typically hit the wrong button and adjust the heat when you want to adjust the radio. You can avoid that by just using the radio controls and the steering wheel. Being a Kia, for a great price, this gets everything. Heated and cooled front seats, heated steering wheels, even adjustable cup holders, which is a nice thing, Big screen, really nice graphics on this infotainment system. And had a couple of neat features. It had something called a quiet mode where you could just play the front speakers in the vehicle if you had kids sleeping in the back and you didn't want to disturb them. It had a quick way to make a voice memo on the record something if you need to remember a phone number or anything like that. I thought that was handy. You don't see it that often. And, of course, it had the user manual, the owner's manual, right on the dashboard. Out back, pretty nice leg room. The seats fold mostly flat, which is a really nice thing. Interior very clean. It's got sort of like a 70s purple light on the dashboard, and when you shut this vehicle off, you almost get the sound of, it sounds like a TV promo from the 70s. Out back, plenty of storage, really wide hatch, nice flat floor. The seats fold down, of course. Plenty of room, great rear visibility, no spare tire. By the way, if you get the plug-in hybrid, the gas tank goes back here and the battery goes under the seat. Ours was just the regular hybrid, so we did not have that 33 miles of all-electric range. But overall, I love the looks of the vehicle. Ours was a green, cityscape green, and it had the black accents. There's that aero panel in the back. It actually, air will travel behind, just goes into the opening right behind the rear door and goes out the back. I thought this was a clean-looking vehicle with great visibility. When you compare it to the old one, this is what the 2022 model looked like. It was very kind of utilitarian and plain and, safe with the styling. Compare it to the 2023 model, that green, that cityscape green with this sort of metallic black trim really looks cool. And very modern and clean style on the outside. I'm a fan of any vehicle that has good exterior lighting. This one has great daylight running lights with sort of a, I don't know what you would call it, like a U shape. And then it had great taillights in the back that kind of remind you of either an Escalade or maybe a CR-V from Honda. But great lights all the way and a high-mounted stoplight that goes all the way across the rear spoiler. So hats off to Kia for doing all that styling. Now, what do you think this would set you back? Well, it's not too terrible for what you get. $34,790, which is not bad these days for a hybrid vehicle. The powertrain is a 1.6-liter hybrid powertrain with 139 horsepower, 195 pound-feet of torque. When you run those numbers by, you might say, wow, that doesn't sound like much, but I found this vehicle to be great on the highway, would easily accelerate lane changes, get into traffic, accelerate onto highway speeds, and still return 53 miles to the gallon. I had to look at the display and make sure it was working correctly because I tell you, I love the speedometer and the tachometer. They're big displays, easy to see. These seats, very much like the EV6, they have the ability to hang a monitor, a tablet on the back or your coat, and they also have USB power in them for powering whatever your rear seat passengers have, which I think is kind of slick. What do you think about this shared control? I found I was tuning the radio and turning up the heat by mistake.
Yeah, I would rather not have something like that.
Yeah.
I just think it's
Confusing.
It's not necessarily confusing, but just sort of extra steps.
Yeah. I did like all the things that for the price that Kia includes, and these adjustable.
Some clever stuff.
Yeah, and you know what was nice about that? Instead of a console, it had the space. If you retracted those cup holders, it was great for throwing all kinds of stuff that you have. Extra wires. I put some of the GoPro cameras in there.
Right.
And it doesn't fly around. And if you were so inclined to carry a pocketbook, you could probably put it in there, I would imagine.
And how many? We all carry a little package of tissues.
Yeah, it's really
and stuff like that.
I also liked what they did with the quiet mode to turn off the back speakers, and also the voice memo. Because how often have you been on? Someone calls you.
Yeah.
And you have your Bluetooth on there like, oh, well, let me give you the number. And it's like, well, I can't write anything down now, and I don't have a pen, and I have no place to write. You could just say, hold on, hit the voice recorder, and it's like, okay, tell me the number. And that would be great.
Yeah.
So.
That's actually, or, pick up some bread on the way home.
Yeah. And rear visibility, another plus for this. just incredible. While many vehicles go way down in the back and the rear window gets to be like a slit, this was very easy to see out of. Really, I give it great marks, I tell you. I was sorry to see it go, and that's, I think, the mark of a great vehicle.
How often do you say that?
I thought I could live with this. I could drive this around easily and be very happy with it. And the fuel economy is crazy. And I have to tell you, they have done a great job on the hybrid system, transitioning from power to back to engine, almost seamless. And, you know, to see, like, I'm on the highway and I'm going down a hill at 65 miles an hour, 0 on the tachometer, and then we hit a hill instantly. It's up to 2,000 RPM without so much as a hiccup. That's really good engineering, and they've done
it. Is
they've done a great job, you know. And I really think Kia's hitting it out of the park. They really are with a lot of their vehicles. This was the SX Touring model. It's top of the line. You can get similarly equipped vehicles for a lot less money, because Kia, most of their vehicles are very well equipped. And we should mention that the transmission was a 6-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission, very smooth shifting. So there you have it, the Kia Niro Hybrid SX Touring model. Good vehicle. I would check one out if you're so inclined. Hey, it's time for me to say I'm Fred Staab.
And I'm Les Jackson.
We are going to see you down the road. Take care.
Bye.